Hello, my male dudes and female dudes. Me, NameRedacted, that's my name. Well, not really, but it's what I go by. Here with another video. It's currently current month of current year, and you know what that means. It's spooky season. 'Cause I said so. And if you think about it, in these current times and with many current events happening, any time of this current time period is pretty spooky. Currently. And with that logic, it's a time where every YouTuber is legally obligated to make some kind of spooky video. Can you tell this video was supposed to be made on Halloween? I've gotten into a lot of horror stuff pretty recently in my life because when I was younger I had a horrible condition called being a quivering pussy, but I conquered that problem. I've slept on it for a few years and decided a pussy I'll be no longer. And now I'm here making a Five Nights at Freddy's video. Fuck, I should just stayed a pussy.
Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where I wanna be. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, let's be real here. If you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is, then you're probably 5 and you shouldn't even be watching my channel. But let me introduce you to it anyways, okay? Five Nights at Freddy's is an indie horror game series made by indie game creator Scott Cawthon. The series started on July 23rd, 2014 on IndieDB with the first game, and 10 more of them coming after on bigger distributors like Steam and Desra. 14 apparently if you count troll demos. It also has 7 books, a bunch of novels thrown in between, and a new game and book coming out at some point in the future. And the movie that's gonna come out whenever. I don't know, don't ask me. If there's one thing that I can give Scott, it's the ability to milk a series dry effectively. And drive one Matthew and Patrick insane by trying to figure out what this game is about. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure you've all had at least one experience of the famous FNAF jump scares like... Or... Wait, I actually used to get scared by this shit? Okay, for any Five Nights at Freddy's fans, I'm sorry, but this isn't going to be the most positive video about the series. But we won't only be shitting on it, so watch till the end please. I'd appreciate that very much. Also like and subscribe. Show your friends. I need validation. After all of this time of making exclusively horror-themed games, you wouldn't expect Scott Cawthon to have made anything else. But he did. And it didn't go down very well. He's been making games since the 90s? Holy shit, I didn't expect him to have made games for that long. Well, as you can see, he's pumped out many games for over 20 years. Not a lot of them getting much praise. Some of the biggest ones that he made before FNAF were The Desolate Room, its sequel, The Desolate Hope, There's No Pause Button, and honestly, my favorite pre-FNAF game, Sit and Survive. I played hours of that game when it was on mobile, but now it's gone off the Google Play Store. I don't know what that's about. The Desolate Hope had some controversy due to some pro-life, anti-abortion messages, but I didn't dig too deep into that. Honestly, I don't give a shit. And I haven't even played either Desolate game, so I can't give much detail on it. But I'm just putting it here because it has a whole section on the wiki page of the game, so it must be a little important, right? Like, not just anything gets their own section on a wiki page. It's the highest tier of information. Scott Cawthon also made an array of Christian-themed games, the most famous or infamous one being Chipper and Sons Lumber Co. And look, I'm not a very religious person, and I don't have any problems with these games. I'm just stating the general consensus. I am only the messenger here, okay? These things are creepy as hell! Look at those lifeless eyes! You can't sit here and tell me that that smile isn't one of an emotionally disturbed being! The not-so-raving views were a big hit to Scott's confidence, and Scott was on the last legs of his career, almost dropping game development completely. But in the end, he decided against it. Cause through valid critiques comes inspiring ideas. He decided to make a hard game instead, okay? I don't have the energy to come up with a good rhyme. The game was a big hit, gaining overnight popularity very quickly on IndieDB and months later on Desera, before finally getting the green light on Steam soon after. Thus, one of the biggest games in the horror industry was born.
Hello everybody!
Welcome to When I say that everyone and their mother was playing this game, I mean it. You couldn't turn a corner without seeing someone who's played Five Nights at Freddy's or binged the hell out of Markiplier's long series on the game. I don't remember it being that long. I really watched 85 videos on FNAF? Fuck me. It was a breath of fresh air for the horror game community because instead of having a walking and collecting debris off the floor and walls because you're an eco-friendly cuck who for some reason needs to collect stuff when they're being chased by a supernatural being with the power of an analog TV simulator, you now have a sitting simulator where you have a shitty paying job and a generator that runs on bargain brand AAA batteries. Seriously, you have a Chuck E. Cheese-esque restaurant that's relatively popular. How the fuck do you have such terrible source of power for the entire establishment? How does the power not go out during the day? This shit can't even last 2 hours to keep the doors closed and the cameras on, which is the majority of your job in the game. And why does it take power to close the doors? But shitty power or not, this game skyrocketed and helped give Scott the career that he wished for since the 90s. He finally made a successful game that's very popular among the public, and a game that made people question the true meaning of it. What is the game based on? Who exactly is Golden Freddy? And why does he feel the need to tell you who he is? Why is Chica so fucking thick? Like, damn, boy, she thick as fuck!
That's a thick ass boy! Damn!
Some of these questions have been answered, but many questions still remain. And it's a long road down the lore to this game is very long and convoluted. So much, in fact, that I refuse to research for this part. Honestly, I only remember the beginning of the theories of MatPat when the game was said to be based on a fatal shooting at a Chuck E. Cheese in Colorado where 4 people died and 1 survived by playing dead. And now I have no idea what the hell is happening anymore. How many bites have there been? Hell if I know. How many times can this place be closed down before it's considered a public nuisance to be reopened? I just don't understand. You want to do this part? Okay, do it then. I'm taking a break.
Hey lads, Mailman here. Yeah, this is my voice. Surprising, huh? Anyways, this is my segment of the video. But please, let me go on a tangent before I'm eventually put back into the basement by Mr. Redacted. This game is so special to me. This game is how I found my second favorite YouTuber, Corey Kenshin. Okay, it wasn't actually FNAF, but it was a FNAF fan game. That's gotta count, right? It also led me to find love in the genre we call gaming. And it brought so many YouTube channels to life. Anyway, thank you for letting me say my piece. Now on to the spaghetti we call lore. Buckle up, because we're gonna be here a while. I also want to give major credit to MatPat, whose videos helped me piece back together the lore. Anyways, this is game lore we're talking about, not the books. Segment over now. This timeline starts with Fredbear's Family Diner's grand reopening. Then the timeline cuts to the opening of, you may have heard of this, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. After a while, there was a strange spring of murders by a man behind the slaughter. That man was William Afton, who murdered 5 children by luring them into the back room with a spring-lock suit.
Die!
Baba Booey.
Pizzeria then closed because of the murder spree. A new restaurant attraction? I don't know what you call it. Sister location. Right. That's what we'll call it. A new sister location was opened with state-of-the-art animatronics that had interesting features. William Afton's son, we'll just call him Redacted, was being locked up by his father because of his antics. Going to a junior location of the old Freddy Fazbear's location. To solve this, William gave Redacted a new toy. Anyways, he gave his son a toy that was designed to spy on him while he was gone. Then his sister, Elizabeth, got scooped by her own animatronic. Circus Babies got shut down and Elizabeth's room got closed down from the house. But her spirit lives in the animatronic she was killed by. Circus Baby. I'm sure you've already pieced that together by now. A little after that, Michael pushed his brother a little too far. Thus, one of the most iconic memes in history was born.
Was that the bite of 87?
Actually, it was the bite of 83, Mark. The Springlock animatronics were retired, the junior location was officially opened, and the man behind the slaughter, William, returned for another round, killing 6 kids. The first one puts the souls into the new animatronics. The pizzeria went on lockdown to find the killer. William escaped, trying to get in the next day, but he got locked out because of the lockdown. They were unable to find the killer and the pizzeria got shut down. The all animatronics were retired. The souls of the kids tried to attack William, but failed, and got the animatronic parts destroyed in the process. You see, William Afton had a crank with him that could destroy the animatronic parts, and the animatronics themselves. After that, Circus Baby's rental was opened. William went back to the pizzeria to clean up his mess with, the animatronics being destroyed. Him being a convicted murderer, and he was actually guilty of that. So, not only would he be charged for murder, especially of 11 victims, he would also be charged with whatever destroying animatronics is called legally. But the kids had one last wish, one last debt to settle. They proceeded to corner William. Since they were ghosts, he couldn't attack them, so they got closer and closer. William, being scared, he ran and ran, corner to corner, but then William had an idea to outsmart them. He climbed into a Springlock suit that was spectating the bite of 83. And did I mention that when you say the suit gets wet, or breathe too heavily, the suit will lock up and crush you, killing you in the process. So his heavy breathing caused by fear caused the suit to crush him, bleeding him out slowly in the process. It gave him a taste of his own medicine, death. And so he was voted off by the ghosts. So he called his son Michael while he was bleeding out, don't ask me how, to go to Circus Baby's rental to put back together his sister, Elizabeth. Keep in mind, Elizabeth was possessing Circus Baby. Michael got scooped at the end of Sister Location, and his body got controlled by the animatronics. People didn't think this was canon, but yes, this is actually the canon ending. Michael puked up those animatronic parts on the way home, and those animatronic parts molded together to become Molded Freddy, but we aren't on that part yet. Fazbear's Fright was opened, a horror attraction, and Springtrap, William, gets unraveled by workers thinking he was just an old animatronic. The workers, seeing a great opportunity to bring this to their attraction, brought him home. Back to the other timeline, a now half-human robot at this point arrives at Fazbear's old location, now hiring, and witnesses the bite of 87, the most iconic moment in FNAF history, where security guard got his frontal lobe bitten off by, we don't know. Back to the other timeline, Fazbear's Fright gets burned down by we don't know again. Dang, there are a lot of things we don't know about the FNAF timeline. And the timelines finally merged together, where a new character was introduced named Henry, who apparently helped build the animatronics. Henry hired Michael to build his own pizzeria to end all of the suffering. As the game progresses, every animatronic was called as follows: Scrap Baby, Scrap Trap, Lefty, Molten Freddy, and that's it. And in the true ending involves Henry giving a final "Ha-ha, we've got you" speech.
You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune.
As all the animatronics burn and die, they ascend to whatever lies ahead of them, being innocent souls who got their life taken away from them by a man that just had dark within him. Although for one of them, the darkest pit of HE double hockey sticks opened to swallow him whole. And that is almost the end. You see, in Ultimate Custom Night, we actually play as William experiencing his torment in HE double hockey sticks, and us, the player, can be viewed as Cassidy, otherwise known as the one we should not have killed, otherwise known as Golden Freddy. And that is the beautiful end to the great series we call Five Nights at Freddy's. Until all of that was retconned and help wanted and portrayed as rumors of a crazy indie game developer. Wait, so, Name, you had me say all of this for nothing. I'm furious! I'll go back in the basement. Please help!
Hey! What did I tell you about asking for help? Get back down there! Okay, give a big round of applause to XPM Gaming, a good lad and a gamer. And let me tell you, from experience, that's a pretty hard thing to be all at once. Check out his channel. He's helped out a lot, and you should give the man some love. Definitely since he had to maneuver his way through this tangled mess that is this game's lore. But with the lore being combed through by someone with at least a little bit of an understanding, it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of the video. The part that I'm sure you've all been waiting for. My account on what you should think about the game that you should totally agree with word by word because we're a hive mind. Or, in other words, my opinion. I want to get this straight right off the bat, because I know for a fact there will be someone to think this. I'm not some kind of hater that wants to downplay what FNAF has done for the horror community and pull any fans from the game into the dark side like I'm some kind of tyrannical lord of darkness. That may be a little extreme, and I don't think I have that much influence on what people think anyways, but that's besides the point. The point I'm making is that my overall disliking of the game series as a whole doesn't really stem from the popularity that the game got and the amount of people that like it. I'm not the type of person that's really swayed by the public opinion, or I try not to be. I feel that the game became less and less special the more the game grew in the market, and when you look back and take off the rose-tinted glasses, you can see there isn't much that the game has to offer. Definitely in the later ones. I used to love the games. Like I said, I watched 85 Markiplier FNAF videos. Like, that takes some fucking commitment. And I wouldn't have that if I didn't at least like the series a little bit. I played the games myself and lost many hours of sleep due to the nightmares that my young brain created for whatever reason. And I admit, I still get goosebumps every time I hear the music after you lose power in the first game. And I may or may not have had a hallucination of Marionette when I was like 10, feeling even more trauma for me that only my brother knew about until now because he witnessed my unbridled fear in person. But the game isn't really that scary, is it? The aesthetic is. The intense feeling of solitude and loneliness that you feel throughout the game, with the constant buzzing in your ears, opening the cameras and seeing that the animatronics aren't where they're supposed to be, and the fucking fan? It's all pretty creepy. But the overall gameplay is pretty bland, repetitive, and not so good. Obviously in today's standards of video games. Nowadays we have horror games like Amnesia, Outlast, and Nekopara to keep us company. That last one. Frightens me deeply. But back to what I said previously. The game's growth on the market. Yeah, it basically killed the fun of the game for me, man. At some point when you go to every store and you see FNAF plushies, pop figures, and toilet paper, you get to a point where you just don't feel that love anymore. Everybody wanted to get their hands on the cash cow that was the concept and assets of the game, and that will, for the majority of the time, water down most of the initial idea of the game. I'm happy that Scott chased the bag and got the money that was due for him and his family, but that doesn't stop me from believing that the game's meaning has been overtly stretched out and watered down throughout the 10 or so games that have or will come out. There's not much that you can do with the game anymore, and there's not much that he has done anyway except put the MC in another location where you can't move and have to avoid animatronics. A restaurant, another restaurant, a horror attraction, a child's bedroom, a sister's location, a restaurant that you get to make yourself, literal purgatory, the fucking game itself. Like, what more could you possibly do with the game? Why is there another game coming out? I thought all the children's souls left the animatronics once they were char-grilled in your own fucking restaurant. What else is there to do? I don't get it, man. Like, what the fuck? Make it make sense. Okay, name. Breathe. It's okay. I may have gotten a little worked up, but the overall point still stands. The game is a drawn-out, retrospectively not very scary, watered down, and widely marketed underdog story of an indie game developer that in one last-ditch effort made and thrown a horror game out into the public that struck gold. And it's almost exactly the same game as it was from the beginning. And honestly, though I respect Scott as a game developer and as a human being, and I also respect what his game has done for the horror game community as a whole, pushing it to improve and do something different with the innovative concept of that time, I'm just not going to play the game anymore, because I'm not very interested. That's really all this game amounted to. Oh, Name's not going to play the game. Name's not playing the game anymore. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, that's really it for me. I've said what I wanted to say. So if you made it this far and you liked the video, give it a like, comment down below. If you like me and my glorious, wonderful personality, subscribe. As a wise man once said, it's free, and it helps out this channel very much. Also, subscribe to XPM Gaming. Join the Discord, links in the description, and that's it for me. This is NameRedacted, NameRedacted, signing out. For fuck's sake! What is this, some kind of jump scare thing? I told you I'm not scared of that shit anymore. Shut the music off. What is happening? Wait, Scott. What are you doing here? Wait, no, I'm sorry. Your game is good. It's game of the year. Ah!
I don't know what I was thinking, leaving my child behind. But now I suffer the curse, and now I am blind. Through all this anger, guilt, and sadness coming to haunt me forever, I wait for the cliff at the end of the river. It's been so long since last I've seen my son, this monster, a man behind the city. Since you've been gone, I've been singing this stupid song so I can ponder the sanity of your mother.